hear about the journey and the resilience that you've had to build and the teamwork that is so evident from your presentations today. I'm really, really proud of you, and it's fantastic for Paula from Harper University to come in and see the next generation of engineers and business leaders. So it's wonderful to have Paula here today to spend some real time really thinking about your presentations and giving that really valuable feedback to you. I hope you can take all that on board, and I look forward to your next challenge. So well done, Year 9, and thank you very much, Paula. Thank you.
I think I was speaking to Sir earlier, and I think the challenges that you faced dealing with the issues, trying to get the components together, problem solving, and the last team used the word too, persevering when you're facing problems. I heard that in every single team's presentation, and that's what showed when you were on the course. And even when you didn't manage an obstacle first time, you persevered. And I think I'd like to tell you that, so I've hired, I don't know how many, hundreds of graduates probably over my time when I was working in industry. And that quality of perseverance and problem solving, you know, you can't buy those. People either try hard or they don't, but it's worth much more than all of the smarts and cleverness put together. So I really, really want to recognise what a good job you've done and say, keep that going. If you keep that level of perseverance and problem solving going in your engineering careers, you are absolutely going to fly. Now, because I always want to help people get better, I've got a few little tips for you when you're thinking about your presentations, because it's probably the scariest bit, right? The driving the car, not so scary, but the presentation is probably the most uncomfortable bit. So I thought, how can I help you most? I probably can't help you with cars, but I can help you thinking about how to create a good impression. So that's where I want to start really. Your first impression. So when you come up here, imagine it's an investor who you want to persuade to invest in your ideas or in your car design. The first impression that investor will have of you is whether you look at them. So I want to challenge you whenever you go to do a presentation or whenever you go into a room, and some of you did this, some of you didn't, if you can find your courage and make eye contact with the people in the audience or with the people who you want to influence, that's a really good first start. So that's the first thing. First thing, first impressions. And the same goes for your first slide, because that's the first impression that your audience has of you. So always think really carefully about what's on the first slide. Now, just on the same vein about keeping your audience involved or keeping the people in the chairs involved. I have to use my notes as well. Look, I'm using my notes. But if you can discipline yourselves, if you look at your notes and then look up to speak, you always have more time than you think. It feels like it lasts forever, but actually you've got time to look at your notes and then speak to the audience. Because if you're looking down here, or worse, if you're looking over here, people can't hear you and they feel like they're not involved in the conversation, okay? So always try to, everybody needs notes. Notes are not a bad thing, but always try to look down and then look up. I've got a question for you. How many of you rehearsed your presentation with the PowerPoint slides? Nobody. Okay. Well, you can guess what I'm going to say next. If you've rehearsed it, and you've rehearsed when you change the slides, and making sure that what you're saying is what's relevant to the slides, that will help you feel more confident in the presentation. Nobody likes doing presentations. Everybody gets nervous. And a few nerves are a good thing. But if you've practiced it, it feels more familiar, and you don't sound or feel as nervous when you're doing it. And you also don't have as many issues with the slides. So those are just a few little pointers I wanted to give you to help you. And I want to finish by saying why I chose to talk about the communication part of the challenge. Lots of engineers come to me now at Harper, and in the first year, they have to do a module called Communication for Engineers. And a lot of them ask me, why do we have to do communication? If you look at the professional standards against which you'll be measured when you're going to be chartered or registered, at least 3 out of the 5 areas have key core competencies in communication. And I gave you a hint when I first met you. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you can't communicate it, if you can't get it across to those people who you want to buy into your idea, whether it's as investors or whether it's even people who are going to promote you or hire you into your next job, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. So the technical side of things is really important, and you all did a great job of that. But selling those ideas and promoting those ideas through strong communication is just as important. You've had a great foundation today, not a single team didn't do a good job of communicating. So you can really congratulate yourselves for that. I'm really excited to see what you, only in year 9, doing now. I can't wait to see what you're doing when you get to the 6th form. So give yourselves another round of applause.